I just, I just figured your comment about hypertorps and DOK was so asinine. I wouldn't even look into it.
But I liked, A game had a valid point about being on, let's see, being on two base and denying opponents third uh, can lead to some good trades because usually, especially if you're able to keep the defender in the dark when you're on two base aggression, the defender will feel a lot of pressure often to get onto free base and sometimes quite
Take
often
bad
in my
trades on the
case,
way up there.
yeah, take bad trades suddenly.
Hmm.
Uh, Good times.
That's interesting. Yeah, you just, you deny the information. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah,
Gets
and
flustered.
like as collision, sure, probes aren't that expensive, but you don't want to be like throwing out 3, 4 probes just to know what's going on when you're like actively trading units with the opponent.
You
Ooh,
can
I like
hyper
this.
on this map. Yeah, that's true.
Is this the default Galcian skin or like from campaign?
I think so. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Nice,
Anyway,
but it's not a. Yeah. I'm at 29.55.
me too. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, let's continue Jaraci Cup 4 then. This time going to be AGameAnx playing as the Saban versus Procyon as the Galcian. Thoughts on this incredibly balanced matchup, descara? What do you think? How many games is Procyon gonna win?
Well, if he did some of that like bullshit high ground cheese, maybe he could win one. God, I hate like the one you did versus me, like off of the
Yeah,
defender's
up
third.
here.
Oh, I hate that. That's why I wanted to ban the shallows actually when we played our series.
Oh, I see. You were worried about that. I've only made it work once, though. It's very difficult to get that working.
Yeah,
And
but,
you have
like,
a fair
if you can
point, A-game.
yeah, if you if you expand behind it, it's actually very good. That game was tilting, but
Is
so
this
yeah,
pure black even? I don't know. I think this is default Galcian colors. Hmm.
So A-game did
Whoa,
8
lightning.
cylinders into Sport Cruiser. I'm not gonna say 8 up because it's not a drink.
I think you should do 7-Up, actually, every time. Because this is a build in DOK. Did you know that?
To be fair, I think as Saban, sure, AGameAnx can choose you. Yeah, actually, I think I would have died in some games if I did 8-up versus you in our series, Bozico.
Yeah.
So that's good. Dying is good.
Ha, you said 8-Up. Ha!
Ah, fuck.
I definitely think that 8-Up is fine on the shallows, though. Like, you're not gonna get aggressed terribly well in the beginning, so... Oh, A-game, what is this probe micro? Come on.
So A-game both loses the probe and misrallies his support cruiser. What a play.
My disappointment is immeasurable. And my day is ruined.
Procyon is going for
Excuses,
very
excuses,
heavy
A-game.
skimmers.
Yeah, with no tech on the back of it. Of course, A-game's going for rail fabs, so I mean, he's not going to get kicked out immediately, but you usually need to get tech at the beginning here, right?
Yeah, because the thing is, sand skimmers can't really do anything. Like
They can't do anything.
Yeah, they can't.
They can't.
Can't.
Can't. They Emmanuel
If you
can't
get
do
taken-
anything.
If you get taken by surprise, which A-game kind of is actually, maybe they can get some units, but in terms of like denying a base, you need something heavier. You need like tanks.
Well, and especially on this base, I kind of don't think that you can even do it with assault ships. I kind of think you need rails. Again, saying if he just runs in, he will be dead, but I'm not sure about that.
I think he has a point because he's not coalition.
Oh, right, okay, no turret.
Because he can't flop down a base ram turret. I would just, like, in that situation, flop down a base ram turret and spam LAVs. yeah, like hitting the main as they're saying in chat. But yeah, don't fire down your carrier like Procyon is doing here.
Yeah.
He's both under carrier and under LAM while being behind on eco, so he doesn't have like the production advantage, the eco advantage, or any kind of advantage to take these trades.
Yeah, and AV Fab is finished now, so the window's closing anyway. Yeah, maybe you're right. I mean, maybe he could just run up to the main and start just wreaking havoc. I don't know.
I think that could have worked. Like, barring any really juicy detonation packs, I think it actually would have maybe even killed the sport cruiser.
Now, A-Game here, just no interest in waiting. He's just rushing out with the carrier now. I like this. I actually do really like this, though, because you know your opponent's going to be on one base if his PC was out like this. You have Rail Fab, and you're getting Power 1 anyway. Like, you already have Power 1, so... You know, maybe you can make this work and just finish the game right here.
Yeah, and see, Procyon went for assault ships, which makes this perfect for A-Game.
Yes.
He doesn't have a counter.
He's got the money, actually, for Rail Fab if he cancels something. I think he should really be getting it, like, immediately.
Yeah. Seeing this move out, you need rails. You can't defend this pretty much any other way.
Oh yeah, doesn't the Saban carrier have like too much speed or something?
Yeah,
it was supposed to have like 53, but it has 60. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a rough spot for Procyon. Because if he went Realtek, this is like the one map where, especially as Galcian, it's kind of, I don't want to say easy, because it's never easy, but, you know, easier to hold up the rail rush, carry rush.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you have all that glorious high ground.
Juicy. And you can get range calibration from up there, like, you're just, no one can push on you, it's insane.
But like, let's check units last.
Uh-oh.
Procyon 1760 CUs, A-Game 590 CUs, plus 150 to be fair for a probe.
Which he foolishly lost right at the very beginning of the game.
But yeah.
But he's probably going to lose a PC here too, so I mean... Yeah, this is, this isn't going terribly well, I wouldn't say.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not great. So Procyon is...
Oh boy.
We got a strong A-Game hatred going here. No, but Procyon did realize he needs rail tech, but now it's kind of too late because the carrier spitting out rails is already knocking out on his front door, and Procyon was trading units midfield, skimmers versus AS. Not what you want to do.
He's got 2 artifacts at least, so I mean he's got, you know, he's got some carrier power to fight this off, but like...
Yeah, I like that. That's actually a very good play by him, just because power will come into play when you're facing a carrier rush.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if he didn't throw away units. He needed and kept the skimmers alive, so he wasn't like totally exposed to the LAV blob. Then this is actually something of a holdable position. Like,
and you know, heavy rail comes out of the high ground too, so A-Game's carrier taking a lot of damage, and he's Soban. I mean, it takes much more damage than the other carriers do anyway. So
yeah.
So Procyon's actually going to live here. He's not going to be defeated immediately.
Yeah. But yeah, I think this is very YOLO from A-Game.
Yeah.
Who is also closing 2,000 CUs, by the way. Just saying.
What the?
He is very starved for Arius.
You know, actually, what I would love A-Game to be doing then is just be building. Oh, Roby. It takes more damage just because it has less armor, but but less max health as well. Anyway. Anyway, I digress. He should be building support cruisers like during this push here. They can heal his carrier, they can, you know, set up the second base, and they can also just, you know, be a way that he spends his CUs, but
Yeah, and he could also, because he's got 2 long-distance miners on CUs and 1 on RUs, and he could switch 1 over to RU.
well, he could actually switch them all over to RU, because he's on
Yeah,
shallows,
true.
right? So you could also mine
That's
RUs
true.
from the second rec as well.
Because on patch, railguns cost so much RUs, even as Coalition / Saban.
Oof. PC gets
But
sniped
yeah.
there again.
This is pretty grim. Pretty grim.
Yeah, at this point, there's no PC left to make rails anyway, so A-Game can probably just push in, but I do respect him being a little cautious here, though, because this carries at like half HP, but he'll figure it out pretty soon, like, oh, there's nothing here, I could just go in there. And that carrier gonna get pushed up onto the high ground. High ground means very little if you don't have any range, so that should be the end.
But imagine with those 2 artists that Procyon got out, if his carrier was able to sit on A-Game's carrier while he was producing heavy railguns on the high ground. Because A-Game's production is tied to his carrier, his Saban, so the carrier will just kill them while they come out. Whereas Galcian production is, not. So he can produce in a rail rush away from the carrier fight.
I mean, like, amazingly, he could actually have, like, lost that way, which would be really interesting to see.
I think that was totally losable, actually.
But I still like A-Game doing that, though, because it's more fun to watch first off, but...
yeah, I like... I don't know if you... I guess you kind of noticed in our series that I've started trying to punish failed rushes more.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I think that's one of my big weaknesses, personally. All my games are totally losable.
Oh. Great.
Rough. Okay, so game 2. Let's just refresh replays.
I didn't even read the pick ban document, but I don't know if we even really need to. We can do it if you like.
Yeah, I think it's nice info. I'm just gonna, because I started loading the read, it's gonna get to 29:55.
Yeah, me too. His bans were
this
strange.
This is the shallows.
Am
I being a pleb? Yeah.
Oh, you pleb.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, attempt number 2, I mean. Yes, Kalash Thief should be game 2.
Oh shoot, Roby, I didn't even notice what you said. I don't have time for... I'm casting, man, I'm busy.
A-Game was, and I quote, considering what he wants to play, well, more or less quote, and was surprised at his own decisions. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. He bans Boneyard.
What a bold choice. Bold choice. You do you.
And then Procyon bans Canyon.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I'm not sure if Procyon... Yeah, 1 PC, that's true. That's true. I guess Boneyard makes a lot of sense to get rid of there. But I'm not sure if banning Canyon makes sense, because I don't think A-Game was going to pick it anyway. But Procyon picked the Shallows for his 1 PC builds. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely, like, in terms of planning out a series, yeah. I think if you wanna rush, well, you want to do it as early in the series as you can, in my opinion, because it sets the tone for the series.
Yeah, definitely.
And will make your opponent afraid of going macro. But
I mean, the first game, I think you either want to go like extremely greedy and like show them like, yo, you can't let me get away with anything, or you want to rush them and say, I can't let you get away with anything. You know what I mean? Just put them on their toes at any rate at the first series.
Yeah.
Or the first game of the series.
But not on the freaking Shallows.
No.
That's not how you do it. Yeah.
But yeah, then it's going to be KT Alt, which is a good pick, I think, for A-Game. Procyon picks Firebase. That's going to be fine for both players. And then GT Alt, though, that's going to be good for Procyon. So.
Yeah, that's a good rush map. Yeah, it was...
You know, I don't
Kind of
remember
weird.
that A game. That was in the group stage, wasn't it? I'm having like faint memories of this.
Oh, he did. He took a game off of a game. Nice.
Yeah, was it JC2 or 1 or something? I can look
Was
it
he
up right
being
now,
a
actually. I'm in
Was
position,
he
by the way,
being a
once you are.
greedy bastard? Oh yeah, I'm also in position or whatever.
Oh my gosh, I can't just freaking get to this. Okay, well, we'll just start it. I'll look at this later. Alright, so
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. Are you happy, A-game, about the tempo staying the same this time? Uh-oh, base runner retirement coming in from A-game. So it's definitely going to be an AV rush this time. And we can see
Yeah,
all
would
4
think
guys are sticking on
so.
CUs. Which probably works,
Yeah.
right? You were saying?
Yeah, I think you want one on maybe. Yeah, I think one on RU's immediate LAV tech. So yeah, this shouldn't be AV rush. Or
It's
maybe
an
it is.
LAV opener, am I right, Bozo? I mean, look, sometimes I'll say that because every AV rush starts with LAV fab first. It's technically an LAV opener, okay? So, get off my back.
Because he's getting 2 salvagers now, which is not. He won't have the money
Well, no, so look,
immediately. I
if he
don't
quick
think.
drops right now, he can get AV fab, actually.
Yeah,
He's got the
probably.
money for it. In the bank. Yeah, there it is. So, it is going to be an AV rush.
Let's see.
And then you can do
What's the
another little
research?
quick drop and get 1 LAV out, which might be nice for him.
I think this timing is 5 seconds later than the one I did versus you.
Yeah.
So that's something. Just saying. But it's not huge or anything.
Sure.
But I think getting LAV tech first, and yeah, starting it immediately without another salvager or without any salvager in production. And
Oh,
then
that's
one on
faster?
Yeah, that's the fastest AV tech you can get.
I'm not sure though,
On
because if
that.
you put all 4 on CUs, you can do a quick drop at like 3 seconds in and get enough money for the solve. So I feel like maybe getting LAV fab immediately is fine, but
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
I get it immediately. So I delay my first salvager.
Yeah, but only
Essentially.
by like 2 seconds or something, right?
No, actually, because there's quite a travel distance, so the BR has time to retire at the very same moment that your salvagers would have quick dropped enough money. As far as I know, that's the way I've labbed it.
Right.
It could be that you could make it faster, but it would be very micro intensive.
Right.
Okay, so it's 2 AV into Sport Cruiser. I like this. It's a lot of pressure. Procyon goes Railgun Tech quite late, but not insanely. Yeah, quite late, but he does have the BR extracting, which is really good in a defense like this.
He's got the PC kind of out in the open though. That makes me really nervous. Obviously, you know, if it gets found, which it just did by this LAV, there's a good chance that this thing could just die.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, but he does get 1 artifact out, which is good, so he needs to power up that carrier like yesterday. And getting power 1 is probably not a bad idea either.
Yeah, it's a bit with the Galsen carrier. It's a bit tricky because I really like the power spread you get with 1 artifact, 1 in speed, 1 in missiles, 1 in range. You can, if the AEV YOLO in, you can get a nice spread if you also get power 1, because then you can put like
yeah, 2 into
1
weapons,
in
right?
speed, 1 in missile, yeah, 2 in exactly 3 blips power in missiles. But yeah, this is rough for Procyon already.
I remember some game I was watching earlier, or playing earlier with A-Game, he talked about how he doesn't like it when players throw an early game pressure advantage to get some high value target, right? So I mean, like, I can see why he doesn't go for the PC here, but if you do kill the PC, which is a bit more risky, I guess, but if you do kill it, like, it's just game over from there, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
but I think it's already a game over, because Procyon hasn't been mining up his main, whereas A-Game is on like 2 bases not fully saturated with strike fighters on the way.
Yeah, exactly what A-Game just said, right? If you if you're getting pressured like this, it's better to retreat to the carry rather than move him out, because if you lose that
Yeah.
mining, which he doesn't have ref mode, he's not getting any eco from the main base basically. If you lose that mining, like the damage has been done already.
Yeah. Yeah, so he kind of shot himself in the foot, did Procyon there, Procyon. So yeah, if you see AVs heading to your side of the map early game, just hunker down on lane. If you have a BR and it can capture, that's great. That's huge step already towards defending. But moving out does the damage for the opponent.
Yeah.
And,
Or like one time I pushed on someone and they retired their base. No, they retired their salvagers or something, and I was like, "What the heck? Like, what's going on here?"
That's like, I don't know, that's like shooting a rocket launcher in your foot. At
Yeah.
your foot.
It's like you just killed all of your salvagers for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what's so great about, I really like this build that AGame is doing, this AV into Sport Cruiser into air, because it forces railgun tech, and then you get the strike fighter follow up, which just takes absolute map control.
This poor strike fighter is gonna get killed by a BR though. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, but still, like units lost in AGame's favor and mining grossly in AGame's favor. But yeah,
Yes,
that was
definitely.
quite bad strike fighter control.
I think I was watching this part on stream and I was like, "Duck, duck, 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 duck" in my mind, but he didn't do anything. I was feeling sad about it.
Yeah, but BRs, I think BRs are my least favorite unit to micro around.
I love this.
Yeah.
This barely
It's,
snipes off the rail there. And that's actually really
yeah.
relevant though, because any more AVs now have like no counter on the field. Obviously he doesn't want to just keep making rails. You can see a missile ship is on the queue here. Which is the right thing to do, but if he doesn't have any rails out, then these AVs can just kind of step all over him.
Yeah.
He'll be back to square one, back to his base, taking damage again. As A-Game, by the way, moves on to his third base now, so
Yeah.
things have looked better.
Yeah, and it's so what Procyon is doing here. He's trying to stay on the field, obviously, I think trying to get counter damage, but by doing so, he's opening himself up to eco damage from the strike fighters on his main. He needs to hunker down in this situation. Like, he can get a bit of map control back by having his PC at home, going up to 2 base and producing missile ships, but then go on the field with railguns. But this way, he's really naked at home.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out where A-Game lost the game to Procyon, by the way. I can't find it in the group stages of JC, so it must have been in one of the Kara Cups, but I don't know.
A-Game said JC2, I think.
Yeah, I checked that one out. He did lose one game to Romp and Frolic there, but he did not play Procyon on the group stage. It might have been in the brackets, but I don't know. Procyon played against Cookies, whoever that is, I'm not sure. He played against Jim, and he played against No Fun. And he won all the games except for those against No Fun, so...
Skimmer Rush, that's nice. Was he Shrike? Do you know who's Cold Blow code, by the way, in the chat for the VOD? Do you know if he was Saban or Coalition? Because I feel like Coalition should never lose to Skimmer Rush. But,
oh, dude, A-Game has a link. Oh, it's JC2 upper bracket. Okay, awesome. He done found it.
So
I'll have to check that out after, see how that happened.
Yeah. But this is really rough. A-Game is on 3 bases. Procyon is just now getting refinery mode. It's...
Yeah.
Oh,
I think,
KBG. Interesting.
But what we should expect to see if we have this kind of scenario where one player is on 3 base and the other one is just on 1, is that if the player on 1 base has momentum in the army, he can stay out in the middle for some time, but eventually he'll just be overwhelmed by numbers, and we've already seen it happen. I mean, look at there's like 6 AVs and 4 rails against 1 heavy rail, 2 missile ships. And he has to worry about air, so it's already happened. We're basically just waiting for A-Game to push out. He'll clear out the midfield, and then, you know, the rest of the field is his, basically. He can do as much eco damage as he wants, really.
Yeah, and by being on the field for this long, like, A-Game wasn't sharking around so much with his strike fighters, but if he was, he would have seen, like, previously when at that time only production cruiser was on the field, that the eco was completely naked, so he could have gotten, like, maybe 3 salvagers on the main, for example.
Yeah. We do have Honor Guard tech coming out now from Procyon, which is exciting, I suppose. But I think it's also kind of a little hopeful, right?
It's very hopeful. Like, the way I die the most versus both A-Game and I would say you is by being too hopeful with my tech rushes.
Like, certainly I can get this out now.
Like, you can barely tech rush in an even game. It is very risky. And to do it from behind, that is signing your own death warrant.
Indeed. Which is tricky, because you feel like you've got to get up on top somehow, you've got to, like, get momentum, but that's not the way to do it.
Yeah. I think usually the way to do it is just, like, trust in defender's advantage. And trust in choke points, in production on your side of the map, both if you're Coalition or Gaussian. So, like, I know it's painful, especially if you're an aggressive player, but just hunker down and just get through it.
Yeah. And actually, there's something to note here. I think A-Game's carrier positioning here in the middle, this is probably better than having it on the third for that very reason, because if he is the defender in this scenario, he's you know, ready to produce to protect his main, his second, and his third, whereas if he's just, like, stuck here on, like, the third base, he's really far away from the main, so...
Yeah, I like
this advice is for you, Bozo. Ooh. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, I think the only time I go for the carrier on the third on this map and on Krill, well, actually never on Krill, but
well, because it gets stuck too on Krill.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrible.
But is if you want to push out quite soon with the carrier. Otherwise, it's really nice having this kind of production sitting in the middle of the field. So yeah, back to the game at hand. A-Game kind of cleared his main. There's now only 1 expansion mining. Whew.
Ouch. It's a massacre, man. He does have ref mode, does Procyon. I think I would really like him to get that one of the production cruisers onto the main so that he can move his carrier off, right? That gives him a little bit more flexibility here.
That would be one way to do it. Yeah, for example, maybe since they did go for HGC, maybe carrier plus HGC could be kind of 1 unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Yeah, come on, guy, come on. Come on, Peanut Gallery. Besides, that game is different because there's tons of LEDs on the field, which honor guards counter really nicely. Whereas here, honor guards are going to be strong versus rails, but you know, they need support in that kind of a fight, and they don't have it. So I think that's the big difference there.
And HGCs are actually kind of weak against AAV, in my opinion.
Yeah, like obviously they do damage to it, but in this scenario, for example, this is going to be a dead HGC here because the AAV's got up on top of it.
Yeah. And that's even without smoke, I think.
Rip in pieces. Yeah, down he goes.
We need some super dead emotes in the chat. Where
that's super bad.
That's rough.
Feels bad, man. This is probably then the end of the game right here. We see forces just converging from multiple sides. This should even be able to kill the carrier eventually. I don't think he gets out of this.
Yeah.
HGC needs to have a speed boost. What? I don't think I don't think it needs that.
Interesting.
Oh, dude, there's an assault cruiser. What the heck?
Yeah, but one important thing to note out is that game one had some windows for Procyon, though A-game was hella greedy. Saban, I don't know if they can be that greedy without, at least if Pro dies. Like, he could have lost his main A-game, that is. And then the counter push, that was very risky. Very, very risky.
Yes.
So,
but I think the biggest thing in this game, though, is that, especially on Kalash Teeth, but even on other maps, you've got to be watching for that AV rush. And if it comes, if your rails are late, you're just going to take massive damage. I speak from a lot of experience. Of just getting owned over and over again by this exact thing.
Yeah, actually, me and A-Game's first game ever, I still remember it because we DC'd, which was so triggering at like the 25-minute mark. But that was old school AV rush one base into one base air with a PC snipe way back when everyone was skimmer rushing. That was good times.
And this was probably on like the ladder, right?
Yeah, this was just a random ladder game. That's how we got to know each other, I think, just from playing ladder.
Yeah, like you guys didn't even know who you were there back then.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was maybe top 10 on the ladder, so he couldn't see me on the ladder, but obviously it was like top 2. But yeah, good showing, I think, from Procyon, all things considered. Like, rushing
I agree.
Game is very difficult.
Yes.
Rushing
yes.
E is probably a bit more difficult, just saying. But
well, yeah, I mean that's like what I always think of as you as like the king of defense. You know what I mean? So.
But that was game 2, right?
Yes. So game 3 on Kartova.
Yes.
Guys, wouldn't it be cool if you could drive on top of the Kartova? Wouldn't that be cool? Oh, jeez. Also, Shrike, if you want to see Honor Guard cruisers perform well, just find the one Jaraci Cup where I was playing like Con F or something. Like they're freaking owning, you know what I mean? Like I don't know what you're on about. Honor Guard cruisers are just insane. Descara being the king of defense, it surely would be foolish to rush him. Yes, no one should ever do that, really.
What a series. What a race.
Anyway, I'm at 55 if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm at 59.55.
Alrighty. 3, 2, 1, go.
And we're live.
And this could be potentially the last match if Procyon doesn't win it, of course. It's tournament life riding on this. Yeah, this is game 3, so 2-0 at the series currently.
So I really like this map for one PC railgun pushes, actually.
Yes.
It is because the dune on the main is really awkward for collision turrets, but also kind of for ALMs. It's just kind of facilitates poking around with skimmers around main.
Not to mention, you know, you think immediately like, okay, let's get high ground off this dune, but you can't really do it because it's too far away, so the rails can still force you off of your main without having to deal with that high ground.
Yeah.
So yes, this is a very good 1PC map.
Yeah, it can be really oppressive being the turnaround mismap. So, SC first from A-Game, right? And
it's going to be 6-2, which I think is probably good. I mean, you know, Procyon has... Yeah, A-Game just commented about it. Procyon's been doing 1PC like this entire time, so going like 8-up or something against him, that's probably unwise.
I think it's in CVC and maybe SBS, CVS. I think maybe 7-up, 8-up. Yeah, I can't be bothered to say soldiers.
Got him!
Can be fine, but versus Gaussian and Kenny, it is literal suicide, in my opinion.
You know, when I made the SC First video back when it was for vanilla, and I think we had Knief, we had the vanilla SC First things down to a science, I think, so it's kind of a pity they're not true anymore. But I said
Yeah.
that it should work against pretty much any faction, and then right after that, Catharsis was like, that's not true," and he showed me that his Conf it was like unholdable. I was like, ah, shoot.
Yeah, true. I only do. This is a good thing if you ever have to play me as Canif. I never do SE first even versus Canif. Even on patch, I do LAV openers. I there's just too much chance involved in going
Yeah.
SE first.
Which is one
'Cause,
reason why we've disallowed random as a faction. Otherwise, I would have played it against you today, for sure.
yeah, I think the biggest argument for no random is just that Gaussian sucks so bad versus random. They are shit.
Yes.
They are shit tier versus random. Their builds are so different versus
Like,
random.
not only,
and-
you know, what tech
yeah.
you need to get, but, like, how many skimmers versus how many salvagers. Like, that balance is really important, too, and you can never know if you don't know what faction you're up against.
Yeah. So not really paying off yet for Procyon. What's his follow-up? He's following up with rep mode. I like this.
Yeah, me too.
Since done. He's a bit behind. He does get the RT, always something. Not that impactful this early in the game, unless you're going for a carry rush. But I wouldn't advise this versus someone who scouts. We'll see if A-Game is one of those people. But yeah, I do like it. A-Game has Rails and AV so far.
Yeah, which is double teching, right? I think you could see kind of what Procyon's idea here was. I don't know if he thought about this cognitively, but I hope he did because it was cool. You know, do the same thing that I did last time. Make my opponent kind of overreact, and then go back into eco, and then he's gonna have, you know, too much tech, and I'll actually be able to get an advantage here. But he's gonna have to hold off the counter push, which probably will be coming. It might even be the carrier, but like you said, probably not advisable here.
Yeah, but it's a very good series mentality to have, and it actually lost me a game in the group stage versus A-Game in this tournament, because I lost my probe hovering over his carrier, and I thought he was doing a fake out. Like, I saw he was doing a one PC push, so I got railgun tech, like the good boy I am, because that's the safe option versus PC moving out. But it wasn't a fake out. So there I was with my cancelled railgun, a VTech finishing, and just in a shit position.
Yeah, I saw that, and it was just like, well, I guess I lose now, right?
Yeah.
By the way, this base sprinter nearly survived actually. Using the base sprinter heal, it was like very close. That would have been pretty interesting for Procyon. But he's doing kind of okay in these sand skimmer fights. I think A-Game is kind of coming out on top, which we sort of expect with LAVs. The micro from A-Game is much better here.
Yeah,
here he's on top though.
Yet. Like, the unit lost isn't terrible. It's kind of hovering around 1.5 in favor of A-Game, but still a little bit under that, I think. So yeah, not bad.
Here comes an AV though. That's gonna change everything. Now I hope to goodness we have railfab. We do. Okay, so that's good. That's really good for Procyon. If he didn't have railgun fabrication here, like, the game would already be over.
Yeah, like, there's no reason to not get railguns for the mid game. Even with SF openers, I personally transition into railguns. Even with interceptor openers, as Gaussian, I transition into railguns. It is so dangerous to stay on no railgun tech. You die to so many things.
And I was also going to say what he really needs too is a heavy rail, and that is what he's building. But the AV's kind of on top of him already, so this might still hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
If he pulls back and does like a switcheroo, like, he has another PC out, you see that? So move the carrier out and let the... Oh no, these skimmers don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you can't really fight equal strikecraft numbers.
Oh, gotta move out with the rail too.
Oh, the rail goes down. That's
probably GG right there. Mag Accelerator is coming out too, which is not gonna be good. Uh-oh.
Scanner confirming, yes, I'm screwed.
Am I screwed? Yes. Is my PC turned on.com? Answer yes.
I think he might be opening up his third rec, which is a good move if he does it. He should really be doing that right now.
Yeah, he is.
Because A-Game is actually backing off. His game sense is not quite on point here. He has an advantage and he can push it. He's probably, and this is a very valid fear, is scared of losing a railgun fight, like an extended railgun fight, because he's not. Procyon in this case has defender's advantage, which is really big in railgun fights.
Yeah, and if that was the case, you know, he would have to pull back like all the way. He'd probably be routed because this one AV is not going to cover him in that sense. But
yeah.
So yeah, I think it's not terribly like too hesitant here. Although we should see we have 3 heavy rails now against 3 rails from A-Game, so we've kind of equalized in a sense. Although A-Game does have better upgrades still.
Yeah, he's been quite diligent with the skimmer upgrades, like 1-1 and boost.
And armor 2 on the heavy vehicles too. So
exactly.
He's kind of ahead in every metric in that sense.
Yeah, and now he realizes, yeah, he's way ahead in strike-craft numbers. He can just go in.
Like, hold up, there's nothing here.
Exactly, that feeling.
I guess I could just win now. And that seems to be exactly what he will do here. So I actually appreciate the hesitation. I remember back in the Artifact Cup days, we would always be like, if A-Game just pushed in, like, he would just win the game right now. You know, we even heard Trent saying that in the recent podcast we did. Exactly. I mean, it's easy to say it as the caster, but as the player, just a little bit of the base threat is playing target party. Yeah, just a little bit of hesitancy can help you quite a lot, actually.
So A-Game is talking about PR target priority, but didn't you change something in patch A-Game? There was a lot of A-Game. But I think you adjusted something in the latest iteration of the patch, which is not what we're playing on here.
You have to be on your A-Game to play patch A-Game, right, A-Game? Sounds of Descara dying inside.
Yeah.
Rail's doing some heinous damage to this carrier. They're actually going to chunk these LABs with these assault chips, but that's alright. This is definitely going to go downhill pretty fast for Procyon.
Yeah, and Procyon went for assault ships because he was behind in the strike-craft battle. I don't think you can do that as Galcian in this situation. As Coalition or Sedan, you like because the tech is so cheap and the units are quite cheap, you can switch into AV tech if you fall behind in the LAB game, which is like always for me because my micro sucks. So I rely quite heavily on switching back in. But yeah, Procyon in a rough spot.
I think actually the big deal though is the LAVs with their range. So the Sand Skimmers, they have to get up onto the LAVs and the LAVs can kite, and now if there's an AV here, suddenly the Sand Skimmers, they take damage on the way in, and then they're like, well, I guess we have to just leave because there's an AV here.
Yeah, as Procyon there, I would have just kept the skimmer number where the LAVs, sorry, can push in just to keep my rails safe. Well,
Are heavy rails overpriced? They are expensive.
They are super expensive, but remember, Coalition rails are 80, I believe. I think they're not 60 on patch.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're 80.
Extremely expensive, so you have to babysit those motherfuckers.
So, I mean, all of the rails feel very appropriately, you know, important to keep alive. I'm not sure if heavy rails are underbalanced myself. I think it's probably good. Actually, there was a point made about random that I want to talk about, like, 10 minutes ago. Shrike was asking, like, if we announced faction on random, would it be okay? And it would, in the sense that we'd know what build we were doing, but now basically all we're doing is allowing players to, like, have a random element in the faction matchup, which just seems weird. It doesn't seem very competitive, so random has to either be an advantage that's balanced, or it has to be not really a thing, in my opinion.
I think the way I see random working is that you do the faction pick, you know, and you pick random, you do the map picks, still random, and then you roll the races or the factions. Because like announcing in-game is it's quite inconvenient for the player playing random, and it's also, especially as Galcian, quite inconvenient because your opener will change so much.
Like right at the very beginning, yeah.
Yeah. But if you roll all the factions for all the games, then you know what you're playing. You lose. The counter argument, I guess, is that you're playing random, so maybe you should have some advantage. But if you have the advantage of the opponent not even knowing the faction, then Galcium doesn't work. The end, in my opinion.
Yes.
It's just two different builds.
And I mean, not to mention, like, it is true if you roll the factions first, we know what's going on. Maybe it's not, like, imbalanced here, but we're still adding a random element. And I feel like you shouldn't be adding a random element unless there's something, involved in it that can, like, be skillful. And there's really nothing here. It's just, like, maybe I get a faction that I want for this map, maybe I don't. So.
I mean, TLO used to play random back in I think he's a StarCraft 2 player back in the Wings of Liberty days. And I guess he didn't have to announce back then, but still, even in StarCraft 2, it's less, actually less important than to know your opponent's faction than it is for Galcian to know their opponent's faction.
Exactly, right? So it is an advantage, but it's a small one, and it's balanced by the fact that now he has to be fluent in all three of the races. And if that were the case in DOK, I would be fine with it. In fact, I actually really like it. It's very aesthetically pleasing to me, but that's not the case, though.
I'm kind of fine playing Coalition versus random. Like, I'll probably go Support Cruiser first with a really fast scout. Should be fine also versus Canif. It's like, please don't roll Canif. But at Galcian, it's just like, well, G, motherfucking G.